Hi everyone, this is Sintang Mayumi. I have a hello card video for you today. So this Altenew stamp set is 3x4 and this was free when I purchased from Altenew last time. So I'm using it on my card today. I mounted my image on a clear black and I'm using Persefine Onyx Black ink, and this is one of my favorite black ink that I always use. So I'm using 140-pound Strathmore watercolor paper, and I'm going to stamp the image all over the panel. And after I'm done stamping this image, I'm gonna move on to stamping. There's a teeny tiny flower that included on this 3x4 set, and I'm going to stamp that all over the panel as well. And after I'm done with this background, I'm going to emboss it with Wow embossing powder, and it's the clear gloss super fine, and I'm going to melt all the powder using my heat tool. And once the powder is melted, I'm gonna move on to watercoloring my images. Versamark ink is a waterproof ink, so you can use it without embossing the images. But because I like the texture of the clear embossing, I'm doing this step, and it gives a little something to the images on your panel. I use my Daniel Smith to color my panel, and I mix Duochrome Oceanic and Cobalt Teal Blue because Duochrome Oceanic is shimmery, so I want a little shimmer on my panel. To color the leaves on the panel, I use Sodalite Genuine, and also for the teeny tiny flowers on the panel, I use Bordeaux. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not doing any special coloring here. I'm just applying the colors onto the leaves and also on the flowers. I love this water brush that I'm using here. It's the Pintel water brush, and I have this water brush a long time ago and I still use it until now. My watercolor panel is done. So what I did here, I went ahead and die cut my panel with Gina Marie Design Stitch Rectangle die set. The Hello die that I'm using is from Altenew Envelope Liner die set. I'm going to use this positive Hello die cut on another card, and I'll show you that later. I'm using double-sided tape to adhere my panel onto my card base, and my card base is A2 size card base. And I'm also going to use a little bit of the glossy accent where I die cut the Hello. I die cut Hello with Tim Holtz Distress paper, and I also die cut a few of this using 140-pound Recollections cardstock. I'm stacking them together so my sentiment is a little bit thicker and I don't have to use foam tape, and adhere it onto the card base using glossy accent. So here is the second card. I'm going to adhere it on the card base, and the card base is also A2 size card base, and I'm using double-sided tape as well. So I also stuck this Hello die cut on a regular cardstock, so it's a little bit thicker, and I'm going to adhere it on this card base here on the second card. I will use Friends Sentiment from this Concord and Ninth mixtape stamp set. I did selective inking on this sentiment because I don't want the mix sentiment, I just want the friend. So what I did is I just carefully ink the friend, and that's how I did it. And you can use masking tape or a post-it note to cover the mix, but I was lazy to do that, so that's how I did it. I emboss it with Wow Opaque White Embossing Powder, and this is my favorite white embossing powder. And after the powder is melted, I'm going to trim these sentiments using my Fiskars trimmer. You can also use your scissor to cut this sentiment, and I do that sometimes, but I didn't do that today. I use my Fiskars trimmer. And once they are cut, I'm going to use foam tape at the back of the front sentiments to pop it on the panel. I also use a little bit of the glossy accent to make sure the sentiment is well stuck on the card. For the inside of the card, I use Tumble Glass Distress ink and apply the ink on the corner of the card. I did second generation stamping using the images, and I also use Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp them. I thought I needed another sentiment in the inside of the card, so I used this Stupendous Clear Stamps, and the sentiment is sending cheerful thoughts your way. I use my Stamp Perfect to stamp the sentiment in the inside of the card because I don't want to mess this up, and I'm almost done with the cards, so I don't want to redo it again. After I'm done stamping the sentiments in the inside of the card, I have this little flowers here, and I'm going to adhere them on each sides of the hello sentiment. I think these are magnolia flowers, but I'm not sure. My friend gifted this to me, so thanks again, May, if you're watching. These flowers are really pretty. I use hot glue to adhere the flowers onto the card base. I think the hot glue is the best one for these embellishments. And lastly, I added some stardust stickles on the flowers and on the teeny tiny flowers on the first card. I hope you like today's card. As always, thank you so much for always liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.